Namaste, yogis and yoginis. Welcome once again to Yoga with Vic. And I just thought it's a beautiful day to love a little bit more your lower back. There's a lot of reasons behind that, but I'm not gonna go into it. But yeah, a little bit of love and care will always be good, isn't it? So let's start on our beautiful chest pose. That is always a great pose for everyone, to relax your nervous system, to give love to your back, to the whole spine. So remember, toes together, open a little bit of space between your knees, and stretch yourself and love what you're doing. So I recommend, especially if you have a bit of a lower back pain, to stretch yourself as much as possible, so you can walk with your fingers towards the top of a mat. But if you think it's not my day to be active, you can also put the elbows on the floor and just relax. But always focus on, imagine, you've got a big weight, hanging from your tailbone. And your tailbone is really going down towards the floor. So that's the idea. Your tailbone really goes towards your heels. So you really extend the spine from the little tailbone to the cervical point, the atlas vertebra, which is the last one, or the first one. It's actually technically the first one from the top that you have, and it's attached to your skull. So let's make our spine super long. Actually think about all the stretch on the arms, if you're stretching them, but especially focus on the spine. Try to separate, and that's the idea. Yeah, let's just focus, imagine the vertebra. You're going to find a little bit more space. So that weight that is putting your tailbone down towards the floor. Your skull is also heavy. The forehead's on the floor, on the ground, whatever you are. This is the soft grass. It's beautiful. Very wet because it rained a lot last night. But I'm not doing anything slippery and dangerous. It should be fine. Take big breaths here. Make sure your lungs really fill up. You should feel them lifting up every time you inhale and going down every time you exhale. And focus also on the movement. There's a subtle movement of the spine. When you breathe in, there's a bit of an arching. And when you breathe out, it comes down again. So focus consciously on that little subtle movement. And make sure, as I said, you find a little bit more space between the vertebrae. You get longer, you get taller, and your spine gets some space. I always say you're only as young as your spine is. So we so much need to take care of it. Keep breathing deeply. And very slowly walk yourself up towards the heels. Let's come up. Oh, that was feeling so good. I could have stayed there all morning. Okay, hello. Recompose your hair if you have crazy hair like me. Say hello to the camera again. And from here, I'm going to go down onto our little butts. Cute butts. We're going to extend the right leg in front of us, ahead of us, towards the top. The left sole is going to come towards our thigh and knee towards the floor. You can also prop it up if you feel like you need some prop up if it doesn't reach. For me, this one reaches, the other one doesn't. So you just, whatever feels, you can put a cushion, a block. Let's go up towards the sky with both hands, and let's bend towards the straight leg. Oh, I can feel it in my lower back. Try to catch whether it's the shin, the ankle, the foot, and push yourself and lengthen that spine. The idea is to bring the belly and the chest towards the thigh, and then we can find that extension on the lower back. You don't have to go with your forehead to the floor. That's not the case. It's just extending the lower back. Feel that extension. Because we, again, are trying to find that space. Because most of the times we compress it by doing It's not that we're jumping all the time, but just sitting compresses a lot the spine. Walking and not stretching. There's a lot of movement in our daily life that are getting our vertebrae together, compressing and pinching nerves. And that's where the pain comes. You know, we don't want pain. Who wants to live with pain? So we try to get rid of it. And sometimes it's just as easy as doing some stretches, giving some love, and re-establishing our natural body curves and positions. Keep breathing deeply. Every time you exhale, try to go a little bit taller, so stretch. Again, it's not about going low, it's about finding that space, so extending the spine. Awesome. Come up again slowly, and let's do a little bit of a twist. So let's go towards the right hand side. So the same we were doing, but just a little bit twist. So we can find a little bit more space. So again, extend the hands towards the grass in my case. And you probably feel it also. And it's coming up towards the lumbar spine. But also the lower spine is benefiting from this. Big time, actually. Keep breathing, and remember, every time you breathe out, try to push yourself a little bit further. Either walk a millimeter the hands, twist a little bit more, and enjoy the twist. Sometimes we feel a bit of a discomfort, which is fine. Remember, pain is not a good idea. If you suffer from any injury, be very, very mindful. So always consult your physician if you have a serious injury, and don't push yourself extreme. Okay? Slowly walk yourself to the center. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. Anyway, let's change the leg. So extend the left leg in front of you. The right sole comes to our inner thigh. The left knee drops. Sorry, the right knee drops. You can prop it up with a block, a cushion, whatever you want. And we go high up towards the sky with our hands. And then slowly and mindfully we fall towards our left leg. We grab shin, ankle, foot, whatever we reach. And we push ourselves long. So no crouching. This is not a competition about getting the forehead. It is about extending the back, because we are taking care of our lower back. And you should feel the extension from here, from the tailbone, all the way up to the spine. All the muscles that are contracted should be expanding now. Big breaths, and every time you exhale, stretch a little bit more. There we go. Remember, breathe. Slow your breath. Remember, the slower you breathe, the longer you live. Get that as a mantra. We're gonna go around life breathing super fast. Well, if you're running, but why should you run unless you do it for fun? Very poetic this morning. I'm rhyming. Anyway, keep stretching. Belly towards the thigh. Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it with you. And that's why I'm enjoying it so much. Okay, and let's release the foot, the ankle, whatever you grabbed, and let's walk towards the left in this case. Hello. Oh, yes. Keep twisting a little bit. Let's get that twist. It is a huge relief, isn't it, for the lower back? Everything gets stretched. You're breathing, you're feeling. You can walk a little bit more. And here we're also twisting the the upper part so the spine gets a beautiful twist all over. And a stretch. Never enough. Keep breathing out. Okay, and very slowly we come back to the center. Climb ourselves up. Oh my goodness, awesome. And let's do a beautiful diamond pose, which is, we're used to doing the butterfly here. The diamond pose goes a bit further. So yes, diamond, like a little rhomboid shape, feet together, soles together, and then we can grab either from the top, or I like doing the bottom one. So you put your hands below the cuffs and try to grab it. If you don't reach, just put them on top. It's fine, whatever works for you. Otherwise, just go below the calves, the knees. Grab your feet, the top of your feet. Extend the spine. So again, it's not a hunch. Extend the spine and go low, 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 low. So you can also feel it here in the hips. And focus. You can close your eyes and focus on the spine at the moment. Again, feel that weight of the tailbone just going towards the ground, that gravity. And just the tailbone stays there, and you just stretch the lower back, the whole spine. Feel that stretch. Your chest is kind of puffing. So again, no hunching. The scapula going together, so the shoulders are retracting and going backwards. We don't want a hunch. Something we want to avoid at all times. Never a good idea, except sometimes when we pass by it, and there's obviously a protrusion of the scapula. Oh, now we're focusing. Hello, little bird. We got a visit here. Okay, keep going down and stretching the back, stretching the spine. Awesome. And then we slowly we come back again, release the hands. And we're gonna go onto our knees. And from our knees, we're gonna put the right leg in front of us in a 90-degree angle with the floor. The left leg goes behind us, knee on the floor. And we're going to put both hands together. We're going to move the right foot a little bit towards the right. And from here, we're going to, again, stretch the hip flexor, because very often that is the cause of our pain. And look up. So this dragon pose to stretch, well, the hip flexor. If you want to climb up yourself, feel free here. But that's a little bit more intense. You can just be here on the floor, both hands on the left-hand side of your foot, and feel the extension of the hip flexor and the opening of the right hip too. You can also flare open the knee towards the right-hand side if you want to, and just lean a little bit on the side of the foot. It's entirely up to you whether you want to put the whole sole or open up. It's a slightly different stretch, so whatever feels good for you today. And from here, we're going to go to a little pigeon pose, or sleepy swan as it is called in yin. So we're going to heel toe the foot towards the left and bring the hip down. You can bring the foot a little bit towards more the groin if it feels better. And then let's check on the back leg. Curl the toes and check that the knee is going down, so no weird feeling and no weird twists in here. Then we uncurl the toes again, and from here we're going to lower the body and enjoy a beautiful pigeon or a sleepy swan. Sleeping swan. Sleepy could be too. And you can put either If you don't want to go all the way down, you can stay here with your hands and propping up your body. You can make a little pillow with your arms and put your forehead on the arms. Or you can go all the way down to the floor. If that feels better, you'll feel a different stretch, especially in the glute part. Today I'm feeling just doing a little pillow and feeling the stretch. You have a huge stretch on the lower back here, especially the right hand side. You'll feel it in the glutes, and if you've suffered from sciatica, you know what I'm talking about. So we've been stretching the lower back from different points, and yes, the hip flexor has a huge impact on your lower back. For years actually it was my weak point, until I discovered it was my hip flexor. And then, ta-da! Everything changed and my lower back pain disappeared. So remember, sometimes it's not so obvious. Well, it's hurting. It might not be the focal point. It might be somewhere else. Sometimes we have a hip pain and it's actually the ankle. And there's a chain effect in there. So always listen to your body. Revise what you have, where you might be started, and take care of every single part because they're all important. Okay, slowly we come back again. We unfold and we come back with the right leg towards the back because we're going to put the left leg in the front and do our little dragon pose and extend the right hand side now. So remember, both hands inside of the left leg, and either you can put the sole, you can open the little wing here, just standing on the side, whatever feels good for you today. You can stay here, and if you want to go lower and prop yourself on the elbows is also an option. There's so many options. There's always options, and one day you'll do one, the following day you'll go to a different one. And you think, oh, I've advanced. There's no advanced, or just going back and forth. In yoga, you go back and forth constantly. One day you're here and it feels great, and the following day you think, no way, I'm just gonna be on my hands because it doesn't feel good at all. Because your body feels different every day. So hey, listen to it. But we are here stretching our right hip flexor big time, giving it a big yawn. And from here we're gonna go to a beautiful pigeon. So remember, now we're going to heel toe, the left foot towards the right, and I'm gonna put it closer to the groin because that's how it feels good. We're gonna check the back legs, so let's curl the toes, knees down, great. We'll stretch the toes again, lower the hip. You can prop it if you need to put a cushion. And from here, I'm gonna go down. I can be on my elbows, and I can already feel all the stretch on the left side. I can make a little pillow, and it feels absolutely awesome. To start with is a big stretch, or I can just go with the forehead to the floor. And this side for me works great. And maybe for you is not the right side. So honor that. Always be very mindful and careful with your body. And breathe. Feel that a stretching of the gluteal part. And the pyramidal, the piriform. And also imagine your spine in a straight line. Again, forget to hunch. That's not valid. So the scapula should be relaxed. Shoulder blades are neither contracted nor separated. Nothing. You're just relaxing the shoulders. Whether you did your pillow or head on the floor.
not the time to focus on the shoulders. We're focusing on stretching or the lower back, the glutes. Hopefully you're not feeling any pain on the knee, because that's not the idea. Always place it in a way that does not hurt. And if you need to use props, please always do so. And if you need to prop yourself also on your elbows, on your hands, feel free. And keep breathing and bringing all this oxygen to the lower part of the body. And very slowly and mindfully, let's climb up again. Oh, yes. Both legs are going to go in front. And we're going to do our last fold. So let's love ourselves. Let's give ourselves a hug. You know, hands below the knees, below the thighs. And the chest is going to go towards our knees. So give yourself a hug. I love your lower back. I really do. And I want to take care of you. So hug yourself closely. And if you want, you can start moving your heels a little bit further away from you. And stretching. But again, not a competition. We don't have to touch the floor. Just do whatever feels good. And if the hug, you think, okay, I can release my hug, you can also grab your shins, your ankles, your feet, and start stretching further. But again, idea, not just touching with the forehead, but stretching. You know, push yourself away. Always focus on those vertebrae getting separated, getting extended. That is what we have to think of. It's not looking beautiful and, you know, having a perfect fall. It's feeling great and having a long spine. So yeah, push yourself and make sure that spine is elongating. And breathe there. And when you think, oh, this is just awesome, you feel so great, slowly we climb up. We give ourselves a huge smile because you feel so much better today. And I'm facing you and I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much. You've been awesome. I hope your lower back feels so much better. Your spine is a lot longer. And I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.